What happens with sex on Ashley Madison?
What we've done is we've centralized sex as the focus of a relationship, right? I used to find it funny when I would be on a panel, let's say, at a dating conference, and they'd kind of put me off to the side and talk about dating and then talk about how my site is all about sex. And I would look over and say, well, I'm not really sure what those sites are functioning for either. Like, when you date, isn't that an expectation of sex? Like, they're not just going to hold hands in the park. I'm not really sure where you're drawing the distinction on the sexual front.
Is your focus on getting people to have sex?
No, my service from day one was about creating a communication platform, right? Was to say, this is a place where you can self-publish who you truly are. You don't have to be clandestine. You don't have to say, I'm single when you're not, or you don't have to sit there and say, I might be interested when you're genuinely interested. And this is your chance to communicate with one another. That's how I saw it. I don't really know that anyone can facilitate infidelity, right? I know that I could beg and plead with, your viewers, please use my service, please have an affair, please cheat on your partner. They would just laugh at that if they were in a happy relationship. You can't convince people to be unfaithful. Life, their relationship will lead them to that decision.
So you've been quoted as saying as well that if people are in a sexless marriage, they have a right to infidelity. That's a very dramatic and provocative statement to make. Do you not think that there are other ways to manage sexless marriages other than infidelity?
I don't know if there is. You might be right. You're probably more learned than I. I'm just suggesting that what I hear from my members all the time, people assume I get all this hate mail. I get my fair share of people and criticism, but I do get a lot of, let's call it fan mail for lack of a better word, who say to me, listen, I didn't sign up for this. I don't know what to do about this. I married my husband 15 years ago, and it's been 2 years since he touched me. I have spoken to him about this. I need to change that, or I'll have to leave, and I don't want to leave. So I'm not walking in that woman's shoes. I don't want to judge her and tell her that she's wrong for taking a lover.
I noticed that on Ashley Madison, there aren't any safer sex messages, which I felt a bit ambivalent about. On the one hand, I thought, oh yay, that's because you're not actually saying you're here to have sex, which I think is really important. But on the other side, it's also quite naive because people are there to have hookups. Is there a deliberation in that?
Well, there is some safer sex messaging just around, in general around the FAQs, which is just about being safe in general with online dating. I wasn't dealing with a community that I felt that I needed to proselytize to and try and educate around sex, whatever. I was really dealing with a community of my contemporaries, people who've been married a decade plus. My average male user tends to be, in a high-paying job and doing really well in life. And so I felt there was a lot of sophistication there, and I didn't want to feel like I had to explain things to them.
You've got to hang around South Africa a lot more to learn about safer sex because, in North America, it's a very different story. Here, we're very attuned and very careful around that.